Cage Minds, Mika Frankl on location inside of the Bob Foster Museum, and joined by Leonid Grachev, we call him Baby Drago, ahead of New Era from Legacy Boxing Promotions. April 8th, right here, Embassy Suites. Co-main eventer is joining us. Thank you for the time, sir. How you doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, man, I'm doing great. Had a great camp. Looking forward to it.
What's your reaction to finally moving on up the card, getting this bigger spotlight put on yourself?
I'm happy. It's every fight I want somebody better. I want somebody stronger. I want more rounds, everything. So it's cool that I'm in the co-main event. I'm ready for it.
Definitely getting somebody more experienced, a 22 fight vet of the ring, in your opponent coming over from Arizona. What do you think about the upgrade here and quality of opponent?
It doesn't bother me. The people I train with are high-level boxers. I do a lot of my sparring and a big part of my camp in Vegas, so it's nothing that's going to faze me.
Chad Davis, do you think this is at least the most challenging opponent you've had to date?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, every fight, every opponent's the most challenging opponent. You're only as good as your last fight, and this could be after this fight, and got to keep moving on. So yeah, definitely I see him as the biggest opponent. He's the most experienced guy I've had in there. My second 6-rounder, so I'm excited for it.
I know it's already happening, but you're hungry to make this move, to have a bigger platform, to get these bigger opportunities. What do you think it's going to take to really make that mark and grab some attention?
I got to keep getting out there, keep winning in big ways. I spent a lot of time in this last camp working on my power, sitting on my shots, trying to put some weight on. So I got to start stopping these guys.
Talk about the power, Baby Drago and the Baby T here. Maybe that's just the new size guns popping. It looks like you really have done something devoting more to the strength and conditioning recently.
Yeah, absolutely. I started training 3 times a week at Frontline Coalition. We have a great team out there. A lot of people have been helping me. Boxing specific work, working on my explosiveness, helping me put on a little weight. So God willing, I'm going to come in about 240 this fight. I don't feel like I put on a lot of fat. I feel like it's all been muscle. So I'm excited to see what it'll be like.
And I believe that you shared with me pre-taping that this was the first time you'd really taken on a strength and conditioning program and really been lifting weights. Is that even considering your previous football career?
Well, my lifting career. I started lifting when I was in 8th grade, lifted all through college, and then when I started really competing, I stopped lifting. I've been running, doing my pull-ups, push-ups, because for a long time in the amateurs I fought at heavyweight at 201, so I was scared to blow up, so I would avoid the weights like the plague, and then never really had a serious lifting program. I'd lift here or there a few times a week, maybe for fun, but nothing consistent. So this is the first time in many years that I've really got a program, got people that know what they're talking about to help me out.
How much of a balance is there for you in an experiment of what you're trying to find? And we almost liken this to some guy I know that you've shared the room with. John Jones went up from light heavyweight to heavyweight, and I heard that for him. There's a lot of experimentation on how big do I really want to get. Are you kind of in that same phase right now, experimenting with where you want to be? Because heavyweights, I mean, it's such a 100-pound wide open weight class. You got a lot of room there to decide what you want your physique to look like.
Right. Yeah, in the coming few years, I'd like to put on a little more weight. Maybe get about 250, 255. I think that'd be ideal for me. But a big part of it for me is how I feel when I'm in there. There was one time when I was just eating a lot, putting on weight, and I'd be going to run, and my knees would be hurting, my times would be trash, and I knew I wasn't in the greatest of shape. But now I'm putting up my best running times, and I'm heavier than I've ever been. I don't get tired. I don't get joint pain, knee pain, none of that stuff. So for me at this weight, I'm feeling great, and I'm going to see how far I can take it.
So do you feel like there was a different scientific method to putting on that size and weight that's made a difference and not having those joint pains?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's part of a lot of concern for heavyweights when you talk about training. Guys that are 250 pounds plus, how much they should they run, as opposed to a guy that fights at 120. So for me, like I said, I feel great right now, And yeah, it took me a while to kind of get to the stage, but I think I'm happy where I'm at right now.
And looking at your body and your physique and taking your thought process into that aspect of the game, was something that you had planned to do, or are you kind of looking at the heavyweight division now? You got so many different bodies, from a tall, skinny, long Deontay Wilder to look at how massive Fury is, to Usyk is kind of smaller and more agile than all the guys, and you can't forget the rotundness of Anthony Ruiz in there also. Was that something you were like, oh, there's a lot of different body types here, some for me to play with myself?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And even, recently we saw Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Benavidez was able to really impose his size, and that's sometimes, when I'm sparring skilled guys that are walking around 280, 290, it becomes dangerous for me to just, try to box them because they walk you down, especially, when I'd be walking around at 215, 220, giving up, 60, 70 pounds. But now I feel like, I have enough mass, enough strength to at least keep them off me, and then, do my own work, as opposed to just, staying away from this big guy and just trying to score a few points here and there and moving.
Chad Davis, your most experienced opponent, he's coming in. That experience, has that been something that intrigues you, that you're going to have some more tricks in the bag than what you've been able to utilize against some of these lesser experienced opponents you've been fighting recently?
Yeah, absolutely. They say youth is the enemy of experience, but experience is the enemy of youth. So I think that's going to be one of the games we play. How many tricks does he have? Am I able to impose myself on him? And I've been around a long time too. I've been competing since 2008, 2009, so it's not like I'm a green fighter in there either, but I'm confident in what I bring to the table.
When you look at Chad Davis, his record, the people that he's won against, even the people he's pulled off upsets against, do you feel like this is a name, you add that to your resume, that's really going to echo some volumes into the world?
Absolutely. Every fight I try to add that name to my resume, whoever it is I'm going up against. In my mind, I try to make every fight my best fight, and for me, in my training, I need to see improvement. I need to feel like I'm improving. If I'm not, then it's time to step back, talk to my coaches, and see where I went wrong and get back on the right track. But this camp has been great. I feel like I've really been improving, and yeah, I'm excited to add his name to my resume.
You mentioned the punching power earlier. Are there other aspects of the game that you've been improving on that you guys have been excited about this camp?
Yes, I'm not going to spoil too much, but this is one of the first times where I really kind of put my training in the hands of my coaches. For a long time, for example, when I go to Vegas, I'd hit up my friends, hey, where's the best sparring? Hey, where can I go? I'd show up, I'd spar, I'd hit the bag, I'd spar, I'd hit the bag. But now, really, one of my coaches, his name is Saul Avilar. He used to be part of Teddy Atlas's team. I told him, hey, coach, whatever it is you need me to do, I'm going to do. And I kind of gave a little bit of that control away because, like I told you, I feel like I was kind of stagnating at a point where, I was good, I was tough, but I wasn't really growing. So I told him, hey, whatever you need me to work on, I'll be a good soldier. You need me to run, I'll run. You need me to slow it down, I'll slow it down. You need me to speed it up, I'll speed it up. So I really put my training program, my camp in the hands of my coaches this time, more so than I've ever done in my life.
I don't want to start name dropping, and there's a plethora of places, too many for me to bring them all up, but you get around, you're kind of this nomad. We'll see you here, we'll see you there. So how much of a coordinating effort was that then for you to give it over to your coach, as you're like, normally, well, I'll be at JW here, I'll be at Duke City at this time, I might be popping to Vegas. It sounds like it's a real effort then to have somebody monitor and coordinate all that.
Yeah, it was easy for me when I went to Vegas. I called my coach, like, hey, I'm going to be in town from here to here, whatever you need me to do. He says, okay, cool, we're meeting here. This is your run for today. This is who we're sparring tomorrow. This is how many rounds we're doing. I just said, yes, sir, and off we went. And every time I sparred, I saw improvements in my game, and I brought that all back with me. So that was, like I said, something I've never really done before, and I feel like it's going to pay dividends.
What's that time that it's like, we know you're based here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, fought here, but you got to Vegas a lot. I can feel like for most of us, you'd get the analogy. To me, it seems like for your camps, it's like that 3 o'clock energy drink or soda, you know what I mean? That zip to get through the rest of the day, but for you, it's that energizer to get through the rest of the camp.
Yeah, and it's you know, out here to make money, I do personal training on the side to, you know, pay my bills and this and that. When I'm out in Vegas, all I gotta worry about is training, eating, and sleeping. So even though, you know, the volume of my workouts is still up there, I'm actually, my body's recovering. You know, it's no longer, you know, you gotta work out, gotta run to work, you know, gotta eat a banana, drink a protein shake, gotta work out again, you know, go back to work. You know, you train, you eat, you recover, you train, you eat, recover, train, eat, recover, sleep, repeat. So it's actually almost, in a sense, a vacation for me, where all I get to do is just train, eat, and sleep.
So, without giving away too much, what's your expectations for your performance come April 8th?
Like I said, we've been working on my power a lot. I expected to stop this guy. Like you said, he's got a lot of experience. He's a good fighter. He's been around the block a few times, but he's on my way, so he's got to go.
Again, appreciate your time, sir.
Absolutely.
April 8th, everybody. Legacy Boxing Promotions, new era at the Embassy Suites.